I was born July 1st, 1899. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I guess my parents were pretty pleased to see me. They decided to name me after my father, so I'm Henry Walton Jones, Jr. I grew up in Princeton, New Jersey at an exciting time, the very beginning of the 20th century. I started to walk at a pretty early age. Everyone in the house got pretty excited about it. I'm not sure why, but I've always wanted to see what was out there over the next hill. I like exploring.
Look what we have for you.
At an early age, I met my very best friend in life.
Isn't it cute?
You know how it is when you really like someone the first time you ever meet them? I mean, really like them. Well, that's how it was with me in Indiana. We were buddies straight up. My dad teaches at Princeton. He's a professor of medieval studies and a very smart man. He wrote a book about chivalry. My mother adores him. She's the sweetest, smartest, and most wonderful woman who ever lived. I'm not crazy about school. It's not so much that I don't like the lessons. I just hate sitting still the whole time. It's more fun with Indiana, and I learn a whole lot more. Like how far a ball can travel, how to beat gravity. If that balloon hadn't sprung a leak, Indiana would have been the first dog on the moon. But then I guess he would have been pretty lonely up there all by himself. One time we set out to break the land speed record. Round about here, I learned something really important. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, always keep a sharp lookout behind you. I'll never forget when I discovered how electricity works. Indiana was a great help. One night, Father and Mother came into my room. And what he said changed my life.
Listen carefully, Junior.
Darling, we're going on a journey round the world.
His new book was such a big success that he'd gotten invitations to speak at all kinds of schools and universities. So Princeton had given him a leave of absence. The only sad thing was saying goodbye to Indiana. We boarded a giant steamship and sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. Our first stop was England, where we visited London, and then went on to Oxford, where my father had gone to university. He said he had a surprise for me. Huh, some surprise. You think your teacher's tough? Let me tell you. She's a pussycat compared with Miss Helen Seymour, tutor supreme.
Stand up straight, Henry, dear.
Young man, how old are you?
9.
And are you anxious to learn?
Depends.
Depends? Depends? On what?
On what's being taught.
You may go. I'm sorry, it's impossible. He's far too young. Your son needs a governess. I'm not a governess. I am a teacher.
You're the best there is. That's why he needs you.
Dear Professor Jones, he is a child, and I'm used to teaching young gentlemen twice his age. It's quite out of the question.
I hate her. She's a witch.
Shh.
Darling, listen. Miss Seymour is very highly regarded in academic circles. She tutored your father when he was at Oxford. He thinks a great deal of her.
Then let him go with her and we can go back home.
Which seemed pretty much like the end of it. Or so I thought. Like I said, my father was a very smart man.
I know how much you've always wanted to travel. It's the chance of a lifetime. Don't say you're going to turn your back on it.
I'm sorry, Professor Jones, but I won't go a single mile with that boy.
Not even to see the Great Wall of China. The gardens of Kyoto. The Taj Mahal by moonlight. Sunset over the pyramids.
It took 9 days to sail across the Mediterranean Sea. I guess my mother and father had quite a good time on the voyage. I didn't get to see too much of it, though. Miss Seymour didn't let up on me for one bit of a minute. Math, literature, history. It was like nothing could stop her. Not even the ocean.
Oh, my goodness.
Heavy weather, Captain.
Bit lively, Bishop. Hope it's not spoiling your enjoyment of the voyage.
No, not at all. We British are a hardy island breed, what?
Well, young fellow, how are your studies progressing?
I learned about mummies, sir.
Mummies?
Yes, sir. About how the ancient Egyptians turned people into mummies when they died.
Really? How did they go about that?
Well, first they scooped out the brain. They took it out through the nose. Of course, they had to break it first. Here, they used a metal hook and kind of teased it out.
Excuse me.
They took a stone knife, cut open the left side of the corpse, reached in, pulled out all the lower organs. They put them in 4 separate jars. One for the liver, one for the lungs, one for the stomach, and one for the intestines. They tied on the toenails and the fingernails with string, so they wouldn't fall off. They plugged up the nose and, stuck little bits of cloth under the eyelids. And this is really interesting. Sometimes they used little onions instead. That completed the first stage, sir. The embalming. Then they had to wrap the whole body in bandages. Didn't always work, though. Most often, the mummies leaked.
I believe that I'm wanted on the bridge.
That was an interesting speech, Junior.
Thank you, Father.
Now, eat your tripe.
We landed at Alexandria, and then made our way up the Nile River to the ancient city of Cairo. I had never seen anything like it. Everything was so wonderful, strange, and exotic. As soon as we had settled in, my father started his lectures at Cairo University. Mother was busy helping him out on the social side with afternoon teas and things. So I was left to the tender mercies of a wicked witch. From time to time, I was able to explore things on my own, but for the most part, the goddess of knowledge kept my nose stuck in a book.
Have you finished?
Almost.
Good. Well, when you've done, we'll take an expedition out to see the monuments.
You mean the pyramids?
Yes, and the great mysterious Sphinx.
Oh, boy.
Egyptian Sphinx was built around 2500 BC.
Wow.
Now, why don't we have a real adventure, And climb one of those pyramids.
Why did you only give him 10 piastres?
10 piastres are entirely sufficient for his services, Mr. Jones.
But he wanted 30.
These people expect to barter. It is part of their nature. You'll see, by the time we get down, he will be perfectly content.
I know, Seymour. He's pretty mad to me.
Nonsense, Mr. Jones. Now, when was that pyramid built?
Over 4,000 years old. By King Chaos. It's one of the largest constructions ever made by man. And one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Very good.
Why can't we climb to the top of the biggest pyramid?
I should be more than happy to get to the top of this one, Mr. Jones. Now, let's get on.
Jeez, Miss Seymour. Must have been great to be a pharaoh. Look, Miss Seymour!
Oh, my goodness. He's taking our camels.
Hey, wait!
Wait! Wait! Come back!
Hey, wait!
Wait!
Wait a minute! Come back!
Wait!
Come back! Wait a minute! Come back! Come back with our camels! Wait a minute! Guess he wasn't too content after all.
What on earth shall we do?
I don't know, Miss Seymour. Do we have to walk?
It's much too far. Besides, it will be dark soon.
What if we're attacked by bandits?
Oh, nonsense.
Or tomb robbers? They're supposed to be real scary.
Henry, there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of.
Look!
Someone's coming. Hurrah, we're saved.
But what if it's a tomb robber?
Hello, Miss Seymour.
Mr. Lawrence. What in heaven's name are you doing here?
I've been up in Syria looking at the Crusader castles, and I thought I'd take in a bit of Egypt before going home. Hello.
Hi.
Mr. Henry Jones, Jr. of Princeton, New Jersey. Mr. T.E. Lawrence of Jesus College, Oxford.
How do you do, Mr. Lawrence?
Awfully well, thank you. And please call me Ned. I say, you're not related to Professor Henry Jones by any chance?
He's my dad.
I've read his books, they're brilliant. What happened?
We had a slight altercation with our guide.
Yeah, he ran off with the camels.
Yes, they do that sometimes.
Yes, but what on earth shall we do?
Well, I'd say gather up some camel dung and make jolly sure we don't catch cold. Time stands still. It has no meaning. When you open a tomb, you let in the light. The first light that place has seen for 3,000 or 4,000 years. Your feet are the first to tread that floor since the feet of the men who made it. You may even see their footsteps going before you in the dust. You are breathing the same air as the men who laid the mummy to rest.
Wow. Sounds great. I'd like to be an archaeologist.
Maybe you'll add a new page to history. Or discover a treasure beyond price.
And get rich.
No, Henry. The archaeologists don't get rich. Archaeology doesn't steal from the past. It opens it, so that everyone may learn from its treasures.
But why did they have all that stuff in the tomb with them? They didn't need it. They were dead.
Yes, but they believed that their spirit continued to live in the tomb and come alive again.
Really?
Really?
Is it true?
No, Henry, it is not true. But it is what many of the ancient Egyptians believed.
Then what does happen when you die?
You know very well.
You mean if you're good, your soul goes to heaven? With all the angels and stuff?
Precisely.
That's the Christian belief. Other people have different answers.
Like what?
Well, a good Muslim will go to paradise, which according to the Prophet Muhammad is a delightful place, especially if you're a man. A Hindu believes in reincarnation.
Reincarnation, what's that?
It means that when the body dies, the soul reappears in another body and lives again. And then it moves on again, and so on and so on.
The same soul?
Yes.
But in different bodies?
Yes. Where do we come from? Where do we go? It's one of the truly great mysteries, and the spark of most great religions. So, nearly all of them have an answer to what happens when we die.
Which one is true?
No one's come back to tell us.
Mr. Lawrence.
Oh, but Henry, if you should meet a mummy one night, you can always ask him.
Meet a mummy? And ask him?
Yes. When his spirit returns at sunset and enters his shriveled body. When he rises slowly from his dusty coffin and creeps out into the darkness. When he glides across the empty desert where nothing is heard but the cry of the jackal. And the shuffle of his bony feet across the sand. Shuffle, shuffle. Shuffle, shuffle.
Wow.
Mr. Lawrence.
Then, if you should chance to meet him, it may be he will answer your question. Oh, but only if you return with him to his tomb.
Mr. Lawrence, it's time we went to sleep.
Oh, by the way, I'm going upriver tomorrow near the Valley of the Kings. A friend of mine is working on a dig with Howard Carter. Would you like to come?
Can we, Miss Seymour?
May we?
May we?
Your father will have to give his permission.
He will. I know he will. May we, Father? May we? Please?
Use it as a journal or diary. Write down anything that interests or strikes you.
Thank you, Father.
And don't neglect your studies, Junior.
No, sir. Whoopee!
It's wonderful.
تقرأ إيه يا ولدي؟
He wants to know what it is you're reading.
It's a book about Napoleon. She says I have to read it.
They're wise people, you see. They prize knowledge above all things. Assalamu alaikum, ya boy.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. يشجر أنت يشجر.
Henry, wherever you go, and whatever countries you visit, learn the language. It's the key that unlocks everything, the most important thing of all.
dear Ned. How positive delightful to see you.
May I introduce Miss Helen Seymour and Mr. Henry Jones, Jr. This is my dear friend Rashid Salam.
Delightful. Delightful. Welcome to you both. Well, Ned, you're in luck. You've discovered a new tomb.
A pharaoh?
No, not a pharaoh, I'm afraid. Still, everything is important, as Mr. Carter always says.
Will we get to see inside of it?
Well, I do hope so, Mr. Jones.
That would be great.
Gully! Why are those men sitting idle?
They are afraid.
Afraid? Afraid of what?
They say there is a curse on the tomb.
A curse? To make people die?
Now you know there's no such thing as a curse.
That's what the men are saying.
Back to work at once. At once, Mr. Gully.
But there could be a curse, couldn't there?
Well, of course not.
يلا يلا ارجعوا يلا تعالوا يلا
Demetrius is going to blow up the rock. It'll make a lovely explosion and clear the road to the camp. All clear, Demetrius!
Pierre, make sure you get some pictures of these seals.
Very good, Mr. Carter.
We found these last month. Pottery, linen, and these clay seals, all 18th dynasty. This one bears the name of the king, Tutankhamun.
Ah, the boy pharaoh, Mr. Carter.
How old was he?
About your age, when he became a pharaoh.
Do you think his tomb still exists?
I'm certain of it, Mr. Lawrence, and I believe we shall find it, with hard work and a great deal of luck. I have an almost superstitious conviction about it. Not very scientific, I'm afraid.
And the tomb you found yesterday, Mr. Carter?
Also 18th dynasty, but alas, not the king's. His name was Ka.
Ka?
He seems to be in some kind of architect or engineer. We may know more when we open up his tomb.
Will you be the first ones inside of it?
Yes. Would you like to come along?
Jeepers creepers. Thanks.
The workers won't go in because of the curse.
Superstition, Mr. Galley. It's only superstition.
Everywhere is the curse.
We must be very careful in here. Some of these tombs are airtight, and when the artifacts that are left behind begin to decompose, they create poisonous gases. In the royal tombs, there are many traps to discourage grave robbers. But since Ka was only an architect, I doubt that we're in much danger.
He that enters my tomb, I shall burn with my fire.
Curse.
Shh. Rashid, break the seals. Completely scorched.
Someone's been here before us.
Tomb robbers.
Oh, the curse, Henry.
Well, there's only one way to find out. His car.
Holy smokes.
Extraordinary.
Why are there no artifacts?
Maybe they were stolen?
I don't think so. The door seals were intact. There must be another chamber.
Over here.
Open it up. Careful, it's a sealed room, remember? Poison gas! Everybody out! Quick! All safe. We'll go back in the morning. The air will be clear by then. Put a guard on tonight, Rashid. Someone you can trust.
I'll guard the tomb myself, sir.
Good. Better draw a gun from the armory, just in case.
Can I stay and guard with you tonight?
That's very brave of you, Mr. Jones. But I'll be all right.
Come on.
Rashid! Rashid!
Oh, wow. The mummy's gone. She climbed out of its coffin and got Rashid.
Calm down and don't be silly.
Rashid.
No, Henry, keep away.
Poor Rashid. What a dreadful way.
The fire didn't kill him. There's a head wound here.
Someone attacked him.
He didn't even have time to draw his gun.
We'll have to take him to Cairo. There's bound to be an inquiry. I'll go myself this afternoon.
Hello?
What?
Some kind of silver powder. His leg's covered with it.
No one's been here. Nothing's touched.
Doesn't make sense. There doesn't seem to be a motive.
Yes, there is. He that enters my tomb, I shall burn with my fire.
Henry.
It's the curse.
I mean, there's no motive for his death. I can't see any reason. God, it seems so pointless.
Thou knowest 'tis common. All that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
He was my friend. I shall miss him dreadfully.
You'll see him again, won't you?
See him again.
In heaven. After you die. If God let him go, after he rose from his coffin. After he killed Rashid.
Listen, Henry. When I told you all those things about mummies coming alive again and walking the earth, well, I'm afraid I must have...
Told lies?
exaggerated. I can't seem to help it. It's something I do.
Why?
I'm not sure. But I often tell stories. You know, make things up. To make life seem more exciting, more worthwhile.
There's got to be a motive.
Do we have to do this tonight?
Don't be frightened. I want to thoroughly check the room before anybody else gets in here.
Should we wait for Mr. Carter to get back?
No, don't worry. Don't disturb anything.
Well, Henry, this is what Car really looked like.
It's beautiful.
I was beloved of the Pharaoh. As a reward for my great service, he gave me the precious headpiece. That must be the one he's wearing, Henry. The sacred jackal with the eyes of fire.
Can't be.
What?
Can't be the headpiece he's wearing. There's no jackal with eyes of fire.
You're right. Wait a minute, though. Something was here. It's been broken off. Stolen. At last, we've got a motive.
That's probably what it looked like.
What did it mean, eyes of fire?
The jackal's eyes were precious stones.
That's why it was stolen and poor Rashid killed.
Only I still don't understand why the mummy disappeared. A native wouldn't do it. It would be sacrilege.
Then who? One of the assistants? Pierre?
Or someone with a foot in both worlds. Who knew the power of the curse, yet didn't himself believe it. Who needed money and hated Rashid.
Mr. Golly, Ned. Are you gonna arrest him?
We haven't got enough proof yet. We need hard evidence. I've forgotten all about it. What a fool I am.
What is it?
The powder I found on Rashid's body. Photographer's flash powder. Pierre. need your help, old lad. I'm going to search Pierre's tent.
Pierre will kill you.
He's not there. He's over there, see? Keep your eyes skinned. If he moves, come quick and tell me.
Holy smokes.
Play up and play the game, eh?
Trust me, Ned.
Henry? Miss Seymour. Have you seen Henry?
Why, no. What's the matter?
Quick, the tomb.
What?
Then what are you doing here?
I was taking some photographs to sell to the newspapers.
Newspapers?
There is much money to be made from such a story. A man must live.
There was magnesium powder found on Rashid's body.
But I'm not the only person in the camp who uses magnesium powder. Look.
Demetrius.
Look, magnesium for making flares.
He will be at port side by now, ready to go board a ship.
Not if I have anything to do with it.
Wonderful meeting you, Henry. You really are a splendid chap.
Don't go, Ned.
I'll write to you. Promise. Don't forget me.
Where is it? Where is it?
You got him!
Yes. But he hasn't got the jackal.